All right, hello guys and gals, and welcome to another edition of one of my videos on the Gothic scene. And so I'm gonna put on my intellectual bifocals and go into this next fun topic, and this will be the top pet peeves of the goth clubs slash industrial. So to jump along into this it's not a top 10, but it's going to be 10 things. So y'all can pick and choose which are your top 10s, etc. And definitely let me know in the comments, etc. So to start things off, all right, you have your elitists. And I know the cliche of elitists are that these are these people in the clubs that are like, no, well, they don't play the proper music and blah, 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 and all these other folks. Well, elitists can come in different forms. So in this type of subject, you can have your people that are, I'm better than everyone else, and, I had a band 10 years ago, so I'm better than you, and these are your types of folks. You also see it with folks in the modeling cliques where they're like, I'm a goth model, and it's like, come on now, like that's awesome. I'm not gonna knock people that go out there and they use their God-given beauty for art, etc. But if you're gonna be arrogant about it and trash talk other people, you're only causing detriment, and you're also making yourself look like a fool. I don't care what you look like. So that's that one right there. So at the same time, with these folks, you also have another category, which is what I've heard in Tampa. A friend in Tampa had coined this phrase, and they call them Muggles. Now these are your patrons at these clubs that are not in the scene. So these are folks that kind of just show up. I don't know how they learn about the event or whatever, but they just show up to the event and they don't care about the music. I don't know if they're just there to, get drunk or get high and just party around or see if they can, hook up with whoever. I don't know. But either way, they don't like the scene. They're not dressed for it. And the worst is when these folks come in here, they come into the clubs, and they make fun of and laugh at the people that are dressed up. So it's like, you're the one here. All right? You're the invader. You're the one that's not supposed to be here. So can't stand that. So the other thing, and this is going to be one of my personal peeves because I'm a huge fan of the music. Been a musician for some time and performed in the genre, but it always gets on my nerves when I go into these clubs and they play the same stinking DJ set over and over and over again without playing new songs. So that's another peeve. To go along with that, with the next peeve, is the patrons in these clubs that allow it to happen. And I've met folks in my in my goth lifetime, where they will literally, I'll look at their iPods and they literally just have the same, the music's just the set list that they're playing in the club. And I'm like, what do you, like, are you not like doing your research of these bands? Are you not buying the albums? And I hate to knock it, but I'm gonna knock it. Like, there's more music out there. You never know what the next hit is going to be. So when it comes to DJs and patrons that are, allowing it to happen, no. Like, I've DJ'd some sets, and it's not like I'm special at all. I'll literally just play it on, like, the virtual DJ on the computer. I wouldn't call myself a DJ at all. But what I like to do is play tracks that, from a variety of artists from all over the globe, which they may not, folks may not hear in some of the clubs. So I think there's so many great bands out there, and they're not getting exposure because people are sticking to the same thing. So yeah, I'm sick of hearing the same Grendel and the same And One songs at these clubs. Stop. All right, there's other songs by these bands. All right, stop it. Okay, going right next to the next lists. So and continuing on with that with DJs that don't take requests. I've had some settings. Okay, I understand if you're doing like a festival or something like that and you worked hard to get your set, but in a normal like weekly / monthly event, take some requests, okay? You know, back in the day, I used to bring, like if I bought a new like Hoseko CD or Blue Tangle CD, I would bring that CD into the club and I would lend it to the DJ and they'd play a track or whichever I recommended. I'd say, hey, like track 5 is amazing, and then they'd play it, and that was that. And it could be a club staple after that. They would play it all the time after that. So it's just, you know, in a weekly, monthly, whatever, in a setting like that, take some requests, okay? Like, you know, because that's your patronage. These are the folks that are, you know, paying you the money to whatever, to be at the event, or well, you're getting paid by the promoter or whatever, but still, you're the one that they're coming to the event for. So that's another peeve. No parking. That's another peeve, okay? If you're gonna have an event, I understand the circumstances where sometimes it's, you know, especially with New York City or something like that, you gotta take the subway or it's in the middle of nowhere. But for all these other events and some of the other cities where there is parking, like, man, you know, try not to have it like downtown. Because I remember this one event in Philly, it was right there in downtown, and people just couldn't get, like, they wouldn't get at it because if they came from the burbs or something, like, there was no parking in that area, or they'd have to walk like 8 blocks to it. So that's definitely a killer right there. So, anywho, no parking. Alright, so let's see what else is on my lovely list. Let's see. Overcrowded. So I understand for certain events and concerts it's going to get crowded, but dang, it definitely stinks when you're trying to dance and everybody's crammed together. So overcrowded is definitely another peeve of mine. Let's see. We have 2 more. So, and this goes along into kind of it stems off of that Muggles topic of folks that are just kind of floating around the club that are really not into the scene. So you have your creepers. So these are these folks that just kind of are like, now I understand, I'm jumping into this, but to quote the singer from the band Raised in Black, he said, "Goth is sexy," and that's true. Goth is that, it's such an amazing subculture, and people get to dress up and look awesome. In my opinion, it's awesome. That's why I'm into it. People just look cool. So, but you do have these folks that just kind of float in, and they're not into. They don't like to dress up into it. They don't like the music. They don't like the literature or the films or any of the artistic aspects. They literally are just there because they're attracted to it. So sometimes they can be creepy. Okay, they're out there. And jumping onto that, the last one are it's another complaint I have, and you can you know, call me elitist if you want for it, but sometimes I can definitely get ticked off when events kind of subcultures combine into a subculture that doesn't necessarily get along with the goth industrial scene. And I've seen that with like electronic events, dubstep. Like this is actually more like 5-6 years ago, but there'd be like dubstep events and like rave events, and me personally, I'm really not into the dubstep and rave / that, all that stuff. I do like some of your electronic groups out there, the Prodigy and what is it, Infected Mushroom and some other groups like that. Yeah, some of them are cool, but I primarily listen to industrial, synth pop, goth, whatever, goth rock. That's the genre I listen to. So yeah, I can get a little ticked off when these events are like combined and you have people that aren't into the scene and you're just kind of like, well, you know, I might hear one song that I like and I'm familiar with in a slew of like 10 tracks that are being DJ'd, especially when a DJ's coming from a different scene and they're doing it. So me personally, not too big on it. So that covers a bunch of lists or a bunch of different complaints in the scene. So feel free to comment and throw yours out there, and definitely laugh and discuss it. So thanks guys, until next time. Did that work? I don't know.